From beginner to advanced, these 5 bourbons are sure to take your collection to the next level. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Hutch, and thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the world of whiskey. So today we are doing a sort of unconventional type of list. What I wanted to do was think about the 5 bourbons that would take you step by step to higher and higher levels of a kind of whiskey collector. So what would upgrade your collection if you were just starting out as a beginner, all the way up to as somebody really advanced? What would you be looking for to try to sort of achieve advanced level status as a whiskey collector? So I've taken 5 bottles that I think kind of provide a ladder upwards to more and more advanced levels, and no matter where you are with your current collection, I think you'll find one here to go out and look for and try to find so that you can take your collection to the next level. Before we get into the list, just want to say smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, really helps the channel grow, but also helps me know what specific kind of content to keep creating for you guys. Without further ado, let us get into the list. So bottle number 1, we are talking about somebody who's just beginning to collect bourbon. And so maybe you've got 2 or 3 bottles, you're looking for something really good. You're probably not going to be wanting to spend more than like 30 to 40 bucks on anything at this point. You want to try a bunch of different stuff and learn your palate and expand your collection that way. In terms of a bourbon that I think just really hits on all cylinders in that category, that is going to be Old Forester 100 proof. So this is the orange label signature version of Old Forester. This bourbon, as you can see, I really liked it. It is just such good brown sugars, vanillas, great sweetness, all around really tasty stuff. And if you had 4 or 5 bottles and this was one of them, I think people would look to that and be like, man, that is just a really good bourbon. Shows that you know what you're doing when you're going out and looking at the shelves, trying to find something in that $20 to $30 to $40 range that's really good. They're gonna be like, man, this guy, he's got an eye for what's really good, and that will certainly take your collection to the next level. All right, bottle number 2 is one of my favorite categories, and this would be your first heavy hitter. A bottle that takes you from beginner level to somebody who can take something hefty and can really impress some people who come over and are like, dang, that is just a fantastic pour that knocks my socks off. And for that category, something widely available that anybody can go out and get to elevate their collection, there is nothing better than Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Man, is this stuff delicious. Cherry, vanilla, cinnamon for days, big explosion of flavor. This is 116.8 proof, so certainly will take things up a notch in terms of flavor and punch, and obviously some heat that's going to come along with this bottle. But certainly if you are trying to move beyond the sort of beginner level and get into something that's heavy hitting, crowd pleasing, gotta wow even the most advanced bourbon drinker, Wild Turkey Rare Breed is the way to go. Moving on to bottle number 3. This category I'm calling a touch rare. Something that isn't super hard to find, but definitely fits in the category of a little bit more rare, a little bit more special. Both we've seen so far are widely available. This one takes it up a level to, okay, this person has really gone out and done a little bit of research and looked for something that's a little bit more of a hidden gem. And for that category, I really think you should keep your eye out for Knob Creek 12. So a little bit more rare here, more in that $60 to $70 range, so a step up in price as well. Step up in age, so you're getting something with good age presence, which any whiskey connoisseur or bourbon drinker is going to appreciate. And this one is one of those rare ones that sits on shelves, people can go out and get it. I think it's underrated. I included it in my top 5 underrated bourbons, which I'll link up here somewhere. So for a lot of reasons, I think this Knob Creek 12 can really take any sort of beginner, solid collection to that intermediate level and really up the game. All right, so bottle number 4, I'm just gonna call it what it is, which is limited releases. If you are looking to take your collection from a solid intermediate level to sort of high level intermediate, you definitely need to have a limited release bottle. This shows that you're going out, you know what to hunt, you know what distilleries are releasing stuff year in, year out. It's certainly only available for a little bit amount of time, and you can go out and get your hands on it. That shows that you are on the hunt for great whiskey. And in terms of achievable bottles in that category that can really elevate a collection to high-level intermediate status, I would say there's nothing better than Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. So this is a well-regarded bottle year in and year out. There are 3 releases, A, B, and C. So you'll have 3 chances every year to go out and get a bottle of this. You might not be able to get all 3, but if you could get 1, that's definitely elevating your collection to a new level. This is 12-year-old, non-chill filtered whiskey from Elijah Craig. Really, really solid stuff. The batches do vary quite a bit in terms of some are absolutely some of the best bottles people get all year, but even when they're slightly less than that, they're always really dang good whiskeys. So if you're trying to take your collection to the next level from like sort of solidly intermediate to this person really knows what they're doing and goes out and hunts great whiskey, I think Elijah Craig is an achievable and really fantastic option. Okay, so we have come all the way up from beginner level to a heavy hitter to something a touch rare to a limited release bottle that really elevates your game. What's left, bottle number 5, is what I would call advanced collector status. Something that really shows you've put in a lot of time and effort and gotten to advanced status as a whiskey collector. For me, I don't actually have a bottle for that right now. I would say that my collection is sitting right at the brink of advanced and it's sort of bumping up against that ceiling, but I really need to find one of those bottles that is just epically special. And for me, one that I'm keeping an eye out for that would take my collection to that advanced level, I believe, is Stag Junior, or as it's just called now, Stag. These are bottles that year in and year out get so much hype, are really, really hard to find on secondary. You're looking at something that's around $300. But Stag Junior is just a Buffalo Trace product that so many people hunt and love. And when you have one of those, you know that you have achieved a sort of status as a bourbon whiskey collector that not that many people achieve if they're in this world. So for me, I'm looking out for something like a Stag Junior to take me to advanced level. I don't have one yet, but hopefully that'll change soon. But that's certainly the bottle I would pick right now as something that would take it to the next level for me. All right, so that wraps up the list. Hope you enjoyed it. Put in the comments below where you think you fall along this spectrum from beginner to advanced, and put down below what bottles in specific are you looking for these days to take your collection to the next level. Until I see you guys again for another video, all I can say is keep drinking good whiskey, keep collecting good whiskey, and cheers.